Wow, did you see all of that? What an amazing opening to this show. Everything that you saw there can be achieved by what we're going to be showing you in this, our one-day special. Yes, it's the first hour. The one-day special is officially on. We're only 1 minute into it already. Already, nearly 20% of the stock has gone. Kathyrn's with me. Kathyrn, how does that work? So we put on a VT, you see a couple of items, and in that time 20% of the stock goes?
Yes, but it's LaBlanche. So it's going to go, isn't it?
So should we just put that on loop now for the next 59 minutes and then you and I go and have a cup of tea?
Who knows? Some people might prefer to watch that than me. Who knows?
Well, I doubt it, Kathyrn. At the end of the day, you're going to show us how it all works. I'm just here just to tell us what's what and how much we've got for you and what the prices are. But you're going to be demoing this a little bit later. And it involves, I'm very excited, that. It looks like you're about to start cooking.
It does, doesn't it?
What's going on with that?
Yes, what's for tea?
Yeah.
We need boiling water. We need hot water for the shrink foils.
Right.
And you've never seen this, Richard, have
I haven't.
You are going to love it.
Very much looking forward to it. What happens with the water? Do we turn it into a soup? Does the flavour sort of...
That is there to dunk our foils in.
Ooh, get ready to see some foil dunking. It's pre-watershed, but it is allowed, apparently. We can dunk our foil to our heart's content. So, it is LaBlanche. Let's talk about the one-day special itself then. Now, it's usually $37.99. So the headline is, the one-day special is going to give it to you for £20 less. $17.99 is our one-day special. What is it? I hear you cry. Well, it's our shrink foil kit. You're getting 18 foils in total. Now, 6 of these are one size and 12 are the other. You can see the 12 is the larger size along the front here. The theme is peacock. So you have actually on one or two of them a peacock itself, but obviously the colours of the peacock are what really comes through. So you've got your greens and you've got your purples, and you've got in the background as well lots of like a book, like pages of a book. That's the background in one of them. It's really beautiful, and all of the colours really work together, Kathyrn. We've got purples and greens, yeah.
Yes, they are. I mean, we've sold so many of the shrink foils here at the craft store, but we've never seen this design before. It is absolutely stunning. The colours are always what draws me first, actually, and these are some of my favourite colours. And of course, Richard, you haven't seen it yet, so you're not sure what we're going to do, although we have got some beautiful samples there. We're talking about upcycling, so your glass jars, your bottles, maybe save your tin cans as well. Do you know, I know you can actually shrink foil around tin cans, but I've never actually seen it live on air, so I've managed to find one tin can, so let's hope it works. I can't even remember what was in it. Shall I just show you?
Did you wash it before?
It looks, yeah, it's been washed. It's my little utensil holder, but it looks a little bit sad, so I think we need to decorate it.
Yes,
I think that's what we need to do.
So can you put these on a lot of items? So it's not just bottles and jars. You can put it on tin cans. I mean, where do we draw the line there? Is it pretty much anything? Because you're dunking into water and it's hot water as well, obviously it's got to be something that isn't going to be affected by the water, so you don't want anything that's porous. Yeah. And also, if you've got a flimsy plastic, although it's not porous, it could bend, it could warp. So, you know, and something I would say, don't ever put into the glass is, jars great because they're thick, they're made to take heat. You know, utensils perhaps that you have for cooking, but don't put fancy glasses in, sort of wine glasses and that sort of thing, because, yeah, they will shatter with the heat. So I'm assuming, because I'm looking at the finished samples and they look amazing, that once you pop this on, this isn't something you can remove and put back on again. It's actually attached, is it, permanently? Well, it is attached, but you can take it off if you prefer to take it off, but why would you? Yeah. I mean, the reason I love these so much is not only are they beautiful, I mean, look at the glaze that you've got. The bottle that we're just catching there with the anemone, those beautiful purple flowers, it looks as though it's been glazed. It looks as though it's an expensive piece, but you can, of course, gift. Now, we have got bottles there, and we may, well, we probably won't do it in this hour, but you can actually buy a bottle of wine or champagne or, you know, a sparkling wine or a bottle of anything. Without emptying the bottle, you can actually shrink the foils around the bottle, so it makes a great gift. Oh, that's really good, isn't it? Yeah. So you've actually still got the wine inside it. This is really busy, by the way, our one-day special already, but I tell you what, you've hit the nail on the head when you said it just makes it look super expensive. So this, for, you know, you could get an old milk bottle and you wrap it around with this, and suddenly it looks like you spent a fortune getting it from a boutique gift store. Exactly, and the foils will pick up a certain amount of shape as well. Hopefully when we do the tin, we'll get to
see that. So you've got some decorative detail on glass that will show through the shrinks as well. Obviously, because we're using hot water, safety first, you know, you need a pair of silicone tongs to work with.
Yep.
If you've got a tall utensil, a big bottle, you can actually dip it half and half, so you don't actually need the tongs there. But smaller items and the lids of the bottles, of course, you will need those. So make sure, you know, you have got all those safety precautions in place before you start. So children can have a go at decorating jars once they've done.
Yes,
but
don't let them, you do the dunking bit. Absolutely. I love it because it's environmentally friendly, isn't it? You're recycling or upcycling old bottles. 30% has gone already of the stock on this. No wonder. As Kathyrn says, it's LaBlanche, and what a kit you're getting here. 18 foils, and you're getting £20 off the normal price, but only for today and tomorrow up until 6 o'clock, only on our one-day special. So make sure you do not miss out. It's going to be dispatched, I just point out, on the 26th. So in 6 days' time, it's an extended delivery, so it's in 6 days' time it will be dispatched, but you will get it, obviously, very, very quickly because it's not more than a week to wait, is it? Brilliant. OK, so that's 808391. That's the item number for your one-day special. But moving along the counter here, we have also this from LaBlanche. This is our Roses paper crafting kit. So you're getting 12 by 12 papers here. You're getting 15 tacks. You're getting 37 laser cuts and 56 die cuts here. The theme is roses. It all works once again as a piece with the peacock foil as well. A quarter of the stock has gone already on this. You're getting a lot here for £17.99, aren't you, Kathyrn?
You are, and they're double-sided pages, of course, the 12 by 12s. They're absolutely stunning. We wouldn't expect anything less from LaBlanche, of course. Now, these are uncoated, so that means you can still ink, you can still heat emboss, you can spritz onto them, you can stencil onto them. They're a really good weight. No single scrap has been spared. If you turn these around as well, when you see Richard turn this around, you'll actually see every single bit of that space has been utilised. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, there you go. There's one side, there's the other side. You're getting two, so it looks like you're getting two, or at least you get getting a few of each design here, so you can do all sorts, can't you?
You can. You will get more than one of each. So that means, of course, if you've got a favourite side, you don't have to worry because you have got those to go. I love curling the edges of paper as well. So to actually curl the edges down or to distress the paper, tear into it, then, of course, you're going to benefit from both sides as well. So there's always a plus point to having double-sided papers. And
then we've got these fabulous tags as well that... now, I'm just trying to see what the theme is here. It's almost like that looks like the labels. It's German, isn't it? It looks like the labels you get on a beer or wine. That's what it looks like. Some sort of pub, something to do about hotels, fun house. It says there, whatever that is.
These are double-sided as well, Richard. So you can cut these out, you can ink them, you can distress them, you can use them in your journals, on your card making, and your scrapbook pages. It's endless, really. You can put them into little frames and all sorts.
Lovely. Half the stock has gone already of this. Half the stock? Wow. Is this how it works on this on the craft store?
Pretty much, yes.
You just walk down and it's like, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone. Okay,
and we've still got a real treat coming up as well. Do
you know what? I'm excited about seeing the foil dunking. OK, well, let's move on then. We've got our LaBlanche mixed media moulding forms here. 3/4 of this has gone. We haven't even got to this yet. Look at this. Look at what you can achieve with this. So these are the actual moulds then that you have here, and this is what you can do. Now, my understanding, Kathyrn, please educate me, is you have the moulds and you're going to use some sort of clay, and then it sets on the bottle, for example, here, or on the book, and then you peel away the mould. Is that how it works?
There's actually a lot of different mediums that you can use here. So we've got the modelling paste on, we've got the modelling clay, we've got a 2-part component that you mix together. Of course, you can use those. The flexible modelling clay that we've got, the paste, is absolutely perfect for this. Air dry clay will also work. I would say don't go with your hot pours, don't go with anything hot here because it will probably warp the mould. But definitely anything that you've got that is cold. Now, also I'm thinking of things like the modelling paste that you may have seen me work with before, which looks like a stencil paste, but actually it will set like a skin, so you can use that to go over the moulds and then peel it back once it's dried. Obviously, different mediums will take different amounts of times to dry, but I absolutely love these, and of course they really come to life. They come into their own when you add those finishing touches, those paints, those waxes, the different textures.
Wow, this is a sellout. This is a sellout. So should we not even talk about this anymore? We're trying to get hold of more right now. But that's, I mean, is there any point in going to the last one? Because that's presumably already gone before we... It's already flying, apparently.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a shame. We can't talk about this anymore because it's sold out. But,
I so wanted
you never
to work
know.
with that.
We might get some more back. But that is wonderful, isn't it? I love that.
It really is. My bottom lip's out now.
Oh, well, did you want to reserve... Oh, sorry, Kathyrn, you missed out there. I love anything that kind of ages something. I mean, obviously in real life, you don't want anything that ages yourself, do you? But on items, it looks great, doesn't it? Anything that ages something.
It certainly does. So the moulds, if you've got them well done, we do have a 7-day saver if you were looking for something to colour and to paint with and to stencil with. But of course, you may have mediums at home that you can work with. Got
a feeling this one's going to do well as well, as soon as I mention it, because this is LaBlanche again. This is an amazing price, really, for what you're getting. $21.99, and you're getting 322 elements here. You're getting laser and die cuts, and you're getting everything that you can see down on the front here. That's an example behind of what you can achieve with it, all these beautiful samples here. But this is the actual collection here, 322 pieces for just $21.99, and 30% of this stock has already gone as well. Let's have a little look. They're kind of themed, actually, the collection. 322. But here, in this particular one here, we have lots of people. And again, it's kind of that Victorian, Edwardian style that we have here. We've also got got gift tags here with roses on them. Then we have flowers themselves. Now, what have we got here? We've got fish here, which is, that's a strange one, isn't it? We've got fish. I haven't had fish before, so doing on the... And we've got, what's the... seaweed. We've done seaweed.
Things, yeah. Yeah. And of course they all work, don't they? Whether you're theming, whether you've already got moulds or toppers or something from another range as well, of course they're going to work beautifully. Maybe you've got papers from previous launches from LaBlanche as well. This bundle, I've got to say, Richard, value for money is incredible at $21.99. We've not finished yet either. Laser cut elements there, so that means they are so precisely cut. So for instance, if you've got, let's say, a character, a figure stood there. Maybe he's got his arm on his hip. Are you talking about me, by any chance? This is exactly what I've got right now. Richard, just like you.
Has he got a blue top on by any chance?
You imagine if you had to cut those out with scissors. You wouldn't be able to get in very well to cut that hole out in the arm because they're laser cut. All of those intricate elements are already cut for you. They're so closely cut to the actual images as well. They're beautifully printed, and of course you can still add further embellishments as well.
It's basically a cheat. Again, it's another cheat way, isn't it, of not having to like cut around with scissors. Like everything in crafting is kind of like a sneaky, magical way of cheating something to make it look old or to make it. Do you not think?
Oh, cheating! I don't know
is that the wrong word to use? I think it's I think it's like a magic trick. It's like sleight of hand.
It is like magic. It's part of the process. Yes, we like to make new things look old. Don't we? So
How about making an old thing look young again? Can you do that with me? No, you can't, apparently. I was told not to carp on about the fish, apparently, from our director. So it's obligatory. I have to contractually obliged to mention his bad puns, apparently. But this is the place to do it. I beat you to it. Now, moving on. Yes, I do have a lot of soul. Thank you very much. All right, I've haddock enough now. Let's move on. Right, now we've also got our laser cuts here, 42 pieces on the end here as well. Now this is normally $16.99, but we're going to give you a £5 saving here, and we're going to give it to you for $11.99. Now this, I can see that you're going to be able to use to decorate all sorts. You're going to get a journal, or you're going to get a card, and you're going to be able to just like use this all around the border here. You'll be able to sort of put this in random places, or to scatter it about, or you'll be able to actually put it on top.
You can do whatever you wish, Richard, and they're quite malleable as well. So you could shape them. So again, around your bottles, you can put them onto MDF, onto canvases, onto your cards, your paper, your chipboard, your grey board. Of course, it's going to take lots of different mediums as well. So your paints, your stencil and texture paste, your inks, your sprays. They're absolutely beautiful. And once again, you would never be able to cut those out by hand, would you?
No way would I be able to cut that out. Look at that. It's got quite a bit of weight to it, as you say, hasn't it? So it's like, there is no way.
If you give that a bit of a flex as well, you'll see that, you can shape it a little bit.
Yeah, bit of bendy action there. Yeah, very much so. Very good. 42 pieces for that one. That is LaBlanche 841799 is the item code there, and that is $11.99. Now, have a look at the website, of course, because everything we've mentioned here is on the Craft Store website. It's where you can have a look at your own leisure. But when I say at your own leisure, I mean, like, just, you know, get your skates on a little bit, because it seems to be going very, very quickly. This is the one-day special, so if nothing else, the price is not going to last on our one-day special and past 6 o'clock tomorrow. But we are 16 minutes into this one so far, and I don't think it's going to last the hour at this. We got a standby one-day special on offer. Absolutely not, apparently. That's going to be a problem for everyone else tomorrow. Not my problem, I'm not here. But for everyone else who's got a one-day special show tomorrow, don't know what they're going to do.
Do you know, somebody might have to work their magic overnight. We will see, we will see.
Yes. There you go. So make sure you go on the website and make sure you do check out those baskets to take advantage of the offer that we have today. Now, Kathyrn, is it dunking time yet, or is that later?
It's dunking time.
Yes.
It's dunking time. So
dunking
obviously,
time.
It is ready. I believe it's ready. The heat ring has got a H on it, which I'm not sure what that stands for. I think that means...
H for hot, perchance?
That's off, is it? I don't think
button.
It's off. It means it's hot. Right,
okay,
let's hope it's
you managed to switch it off, Kathyrn. This is not good.
Let's
power,
hope it's still hot enough then.
Yeah. Number 9.
Right, we've had it on number 9, which is the highest it will go. I hope it's not cooled down.
Is it like Spinal Tap? Does it go up to 11? Can we find out? Number 9. Wow, we've got it on number 9, everyone. Ooh, a bit scary.
Right, OK, I'm just going to bring in the foils first of all, because, of course, the one-day special, absolutely beautiful. And you're so right, Richard. You did say, of course, that there's 2 different widths here. So I'm just sorting these back out into the 2 different widths. Beautiful designs. You have got, of course, the beautiful peacocks in there. We've got the anemone. I mean, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Let me just hold that up. So before we've dunked it, I'm slightly worried in case the water's been cooling down now, but we'll soon find out if it works. If it doesn't, we'll move on to something else and come back to it.
I can always blow on it and make it a bit warmer if you want. I mean, by the way, everyone's agreeing with you there, because it's very, very, very busy indeed. There are queues on the phone, so best way maybe to get hold of this is to go on the website.
OK.
Oh, I'll tell you what. No, apparently we've got some news about the Roses paper crafting kit. 80% of this is gone.
Oh my goodness!
80% of this is gone. So we're going to, as you say, we're going to have none left, Kathyrn, by the end of this hour, I think. So please do make sure you get hold of this. You've got your 12 by 12 papers. You've got your gift tags as well. You've got your die cuts and you've got your laser cuts, and it is just $17.99. It's new today. 457-847. Remember, these are double-sided. Don't forget that. 457-847 is the item code. It's $17.99. 80% has gone. Sorry, Kathyrn.
That's okay.
As you were saying. This is exciting.
Right. Yes, I'm just checking this for size. Now I've got a jar here, and it's slightly shaped, and you can see that's not going to go over that one. So this shrink foil isn't wide enough for this particular jar. So I've got 2 choices. I can go for the larger one, or I can change my jar. Now I've also got bottles as well. I've got all sorts here actually.
You've got a lot of empty bottles down there, Kathyrn.
I've had to go searching for as many jars and glass things today as I possibly could.
Far and wide to find all those empty bottles.
Some have got lids, some haven't.
Yeah.
Now, all you need to do, Richard, is take the shrink foil. You can see it's already got a seam on there, and you will slide that over your bottle. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that bottle's a little bit too big for that. It's not the right size. Well, actually, it is, because the key is in the name, shrink foils.
It's going to shrink
because it's going to shrink to it. So, I'm just going to turn this to the camera so you can see the top there. You can see it's slightly bigger than the top of the bottle. If it was a lot bigger than the jar or the bottle, then cut the shrink foil down. You'd no point in wasting it. There's another thing I want to mention about that as we work with it as well. You do find when you're working with certain materials that what's good to do and what's not good to do, don't you? Now, I am going to take the lid off the water. I do hope that it's hot enough.
It looks pretty hot from here. I can see the steam rising.
Let me just take away that lid for a second.
So you don't think you need to cut any more off that?
No,
that's going to shrink. That's all going to be used, the excess there, yeah?
I really want a little bit of space at the bottom as well. I don't want it lined up with the base. So if I sit that on the glass mat and then were to pick that up, it's going to be lined up with the bottom. So I want a little bit of excess to make sure that that's covered. I've also got a little bit of excess at the top as well. Now, I do have a pair of silicone tongs, Because this is quite a long bottle, I could actually dunk this in 2 parts. I could do the bottom first, turn it over and do the top. So that's probably what I'm going to do at the moment.
Okay.
I am going to get a towel ready.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Now, if this doesn't shrink, we will have to leave the water a little bit longer.
Okay.
But let's give it a go. So
it's time to cover our bottoms.
It's going.
Here we go. We're going in.
There we are.
Oh, now, so you know it's hot enough when it just folds in instantly, yeah?
Yeah. Now, can you see what's happened there? That thin bottle has already, the foil has shrunk down to that. Now, I don't think the water is quite as hot as it should do because I can see 1 or 2 creases in there.
Yeah.
You shouldn't see that. But let's just turn that around. Now, what I was going to say is be very careful when you're using your bottles.
Yeah.
If they haven't got lids on, because you don't want air to get into there. Can you see what's happening there? Can you see the bubbles? So be very, very careful. Go nice and slow.
Oh,
because
wow.
the
It's
air
magic,
in the
isn't it?
bottle, yeah, you don't want that to bubble up.
We've got the wrinkles, that's because, as you say, it's not quite warm enough, our one, is it?
Yeah.
But obviously you've got to get piping hot, have you?
Yeah. But you can, of course, go again. You know, if it doesn't shrink enough, you can go in again. But we'll do some more.
Yeah.
And I will use the tongs for some smaller items as well.
And do you just, when you've got the right temperature, do you just dunk it and take it in there? Or can you leave it in there, or is it not wise to do that?
Don't leave it in there.
No.
You don't. There's no point in leaving it in there.
Okay.
And another way I can tell the water's not quite hot enough because the top hasn't shrunk quite enough around there. So we can come back to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But can you see how it's shrunk right around there? Let's go with the bigger bottle and one of the bigger foils as well.
Absolutely magic. I feel like this is something even I could actually do.
Oh, I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. Let's
really
see
feel like I
if
could do
my beautiful peacocks will actually work over this one. Now, I have got, in fact, let me see if I've got a cleaner one. See, I have to rummage through all my drawers and everything and find things that are glass or things that I can dunk. But half of the bits and pieces that I've got have already been painted. So,
of course, yeah. I say, clean, empty bottles do not last long around here, do they? They get, picked up and they get covered straight away.
They really don't.
Yeah.
Now, can you see that beautiful peacock on there? Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to, again, because we'll just put the bottom in because...
Look at the way it all folds in.
I can still see it's not quite as hot as it should be because it's not shrinking quite as quickly as it should. But you can see the effect that you're getting there. There we are. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go in a little bit more. So I think we'll do this one, then we'll allow the water to heat up a little bit more, and we'll do the tin a little bit later. Because
and all the excess at the top there, it just disappears into the bottle. It's odd, isn't it? It's just not. You don't get any sort of.
That's it. And again, make sure. Now, I'm not so bothered about the top being covered this time because I'm going to put some decoration on there.
Yeah.
But make sure that when you take this out, you've got a towel so you can wipe clean, you can wipe away the excess water because it will be hot. Obviously, if it's something small, then do use the tongs. Only use the bottles with your hands if you can't put the tongs around it.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to take that out. And we'll come back and we'll redo that again.
Yeah.
Because I know that isn't quite hot enough, so we'll definitely do that. Now, I have safety first, so I'm going to put the lid on.
Yeah, also that might help to heat it up a little bit.
Okay, so, and we'll come, it's still on number 9. So if I'd have known that H meant it had gone off.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that.
Oh, Kathyrn. I normally get blamed
That is annoying,
for that.
isn't it? Not to worry.
Have we got some finished samples to show you? I think we have, because look at some of these here. Now, this is one with the peacock on it here. It's really beautiful. No wrinkles in this one. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. Then obviously what you've done there, Kathyrn, is you've added on a few embellishments at the top there as well.
Well, actually, Blanche sent that one. I have got some bits that I did earlier, though, that haven't got any wrinkles because the water was hot enough. This is before the hour. In fact, if I just show you this one, there's no decoration on it yet, but this is actually a tin.
Is it?
Rather than glass.
Now, this one's glass that I've got here. This is a much bigger one, like this one. And once again, we've got, it's the peacock theme here. It goes all the way round. I've added little embellishments onto the top of it as well, including like a little locket with a Victorian lady in it.
We do have some lovely embellishments on the website, actually. There's some cabochons, there's some frames, we've got some beads available as well, all perfect for decorating up. Don't know if LaBlanche has got the flowers on. Quite often, the end of call, there's some of the paper flowers as well. Yeah,
there's a jar there. There's any jars just like lying around. Imagine putting that together and obviously pop it all there. Now, I've had a question in, have we not, Kathyrn? Who was it from, sorry? From Maggie. Now, if we put the it into the water and you get wrinkles on it, yes? If you put it back in, after it's been wrinkled, will the wrinkles go?
Hopefully so. We'll soon find out.
Right. So it's like tomorrow's world. It's like a live scientific experiment we're going to put together today. So we're going to dunk it back in and see if that is the case. I mean, you'd think it would be, wouldn't you? Because if it's hot enough, it will continue to shrink, right? I'd have thought so. I mean, that was my science hat on there.
Well, what we'll do, we'll allow that, whenever I can see that number 9, I know it's heating up now. If it goes to H, I know it's gone off.
Yes.
So this is not my ring, you see. I've never used it before.
I'm still confused with that, because surely H means it's now hot enough.
Well, that's what I thought. I saw it and I thought, oh, it's heated up.
Yeah. So you switched it off, basically, when it was
I didn't do anything. It must have a timer.
Oh, OK.
Or it must, well, if it's left too long, it must just automatically have a safety cut out.
40% has gone of the one-day special. While we're bickering about whose fault it was about the heating of the water here, and have you noticed the way the buck is passing, and everyone is already pointing the finger here? I still maintain it was Marcus's fault in the gallery. That's who I'm going with. 40% of the stock has gone right now. 40% of the stock has gone of this. 808391 is the item code. Look at that. It's a £20 saving on the one-day special. 20 quid off. That's why it is flying off the shelves today. It's 18 foils you're getting with this, 6 of this size, you're getting 12 of the larger size, and as you can see, the larger ones are going to cover your big bottles like this, your smaller ones are going to do your jars like this as well. You've got everything covered. Look how much you could cover in your house. You're going to get a real theme going here with all of your empty jars, and it really makes them look really expensive and really decadent, I think. It looks like an antique. Love that. There we go. 808391. Have a look at some of these samples as well. And there's some we made earlier. Meantime, Kathyrn has been frantically trying to get the water hotter. How's that been working out for you?
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
I've just done a test. I've just done a test.
Yep.
It's looking good.
Good. That's good to know. So by the end of the show, we should be in a position where it will shrink. But we've got the general principle of it, haven't we?
We have.
We've seen it.
We have. I just want to just explain something as well, Richard, because the jar that I've just done, you did say, once the foils are on, are they on? Is that it? Are they permanent?
Yes.
If you want to remove them, all you need to do is take a craft knife and literally cut through it.
Oh, OK, and it'll just peel straight off?
That, yes. So
OK, so you could then recover it with another one?
Exactly,
or,
exactly. So if you've already got, of course, foils from previous and you want to cover a nice shaped jar or something like that, you can do. Oh,
that looks easy, because there's nothing worse than like stickers on glasses that you have to peel off and it doesn't come off properly. Exactly. You have to steam it off, but that just peels straight off.
Exactly. Yeah. Right, we will come back to that. I'm going to, you can see it bubbling more now, so we know it's on its way. It's getting there. So what I am going to do, because we've sold out the moulds, but we have got the modelling paste, so we're going to have a little look at that. So I will have to use the moulds, of course, to demonstrate with this. It doesn't really matter which one, because they're all out of stock now. I'm hoping somebody might be able to do something. We might get some more. But these are fantastic. If you have got them, well done. But we do have the modelling paste, which always sells out, which is an absolutely fantastic medium. I'm just going to grab a spatula. And you can see a really lovely consistency. Now you can actually work with this and you could use it to make textures, you could go onto the front cover of an album, you could use it however you wish in that sense, but of course...
It's really tasty, don't actually eat it though, for God's sake. It's what makes it modelling paste? Is it the fact that it sets very quickly, as well as obviously, you know, going...
It takes a little bit of drying time, not too long with this one, because it depends on the thickness that you're putting it in. If you're putting it into a deeper mould, then obviously it's going to take a little bit longer. With this one, I'm being very cautious initially, just to show you how I'm putting that into the design there. But if you want to peel this back so you've got a full sheet, obviously you need that to be a solid sheet. Now there's one or two tricks that I can show you as well. I'm just going to put a little bit more on here, so it is drying for tomorrow. And I just heard the
Leslie's just emailed and said, I'm glad your demo went wrong, because now I know what I've been doing wrong this whole time.
Yeah.
It wasn't all in vain. So actually,
there you go. I'm a big believer in showing you what not to do.
That's all I've done since I've been on this channel. I literally, everything I've done has been how you shouldn't do it. And I think that a lot of people have learned a lot from watching that.
Yeah, if your foils don't shrink or they get a lot of creases or bubbles in there, it's usually because the water is not hot enough. You can see the difference now. You can see the bubbles coming up, can't you?
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's funny that boiling pan of water now looks like it's boiling because there's bubbles. Yeah, I've got that.
Now, if I just show you what I've got here, now that would still peel away from there when it was dry. If I wanted almost like a grid effect, it would probably, because there's no sort of breaks in the design there.
Yeah.
You could actually take that out as one piece because it's very, very malleable. So you could, with this particular mould, scrape away that excess, which will save you more of the paste as well, and you would be able to peel that away. So that's probably what I'm going to do with that. I know we haven't got those moulds, but we have got the paste, so I'm probably going to leave that one to set, but I'm going to bring in one that was done earlier as well. Obviously, if you put more of the paste on there, so you've got that full background, you can still see the detail, but when it's dry, you simply just peel it away, and look how malleable this is. So you could put that around a jar, around a tin, around a box. You can cut into it with scissors. You could put it around a candle for decoration. And of course, it's going to take lots of different mediums because it's porous as well. So all your different paints, your waxes, your inks, all those different things will work with this as a surface. Let me just bring in one or two of the others as well. And then there's another way I want to show you how you can work with these. Because if you want to use a little bit less of the paste, you can do. Now there's a couple of tricks. Now we've got two different mediums on today. We've also got a two-part component, which we'll be seeing a little bit later on. But if you've got any sort of gauze, and I actually think it's worth trying an interfacing. You know the sewing interfacing? Not the fusible one. If you go with the thin interfacing, if you haven't got gauze, give that a go as well. Line that on the back of your mould so you've got something to peel away will also help. This way as well, this is with the modelling paste. You can also do it with the two-part component that we've got as well. But that way, you've got even more strength to it because it's almost like, you know when you put a footing in? When you've got a brick footing.
Yeah.
When you build the foundations for a house, you have grid work, don't you, in the concrete? So it acts a little bit like that, so it's giving you more stability. And of course, it's still very malleable. You can still shape it, you can still colour it, you can still cut into it as well. Absolutely beautiful design. So yes, you've got those choices there. Now the two different components we've got, if it's the modelling paste, it tends to feel a little bit more papery. Now the second one, it is a two-part, as I say. You've got more powder to liquid, and it is the liquid, you mix one part of the powder, you mix two parts of, so it's a 2-to-1 mix. We will have a little look at that later, but because we haven't got the moulds, they've gone, I am going to sort of hang fire to a point with those at the moment and see if we can get anything more back in. I don't know if we will, but we have got mediums and things that we can work with. We have got lots of pieces that are dried here, so we can cut into them and use them as decoration as well. Now, I don't know if you can hear it.
It's really going some now.
It's really going some now, isn't it?
Right.
Shall we give it another go?
Yeah, if nothing else, can I dunk my tea in that and boil in the bag and, have something to eat? If that doesn't work, but surely it looks hot enough, doesn't it?
It does look hot enough. Yeah. Now, we do have... I'm only using this next one simply because of the size of the jar that I've got. I've got a little jar as well. I did want to show you using the tongs, and they don't have to use, of course, the larger ones. Now, we do have these beautiful Christmas ones on, and not all of them are Christmas effects either. So this one looks pretty much the right size. Yes, that will go on nicely. Try to find jars and tins that aren't too big or too small for the foils. The more you've got to shrink it, the harder the shrink's got to work. So the more it will push in. Now, I know somebody at some point is likely to send in a question and say, can you use a heat gun? The answer to that is, I don't know if it's been answered on air before, but I've experimented lots of times with the foils. It will work to shrink the foils, but the problem you've got with a heat gun is that it doesn't shrink it all at the same time. Obviously, you've got those hot spots. So what you will find is some areas will shrink a lot faster than others, and it distorts the image. Okay. So it's not the best way to do it.
But it's not actually the water that does the shrinking, it's the heat that does the shrinking.
It's the heat, yeah. Yeah.
So you could, if you, in theory, get the same effect if you walked into a boiling hot sauna or a...
I've never tried it.
Shall we try that now? Can we get that set up? Can we build a sauna to try that?
Okay, right. Let's take the lid off. Just pop that down there. Now, I cannot... It's still on number 9, so we're good to go. We can see it bubbling. Good. I cannot use my hands to put this into the water. No. Obviously, because it's a small... It's a small jar. Now, again, I'm going to allow that to overlap at the top. I'm going to allow it to overlap at the bottom. And I am going to use a pair of silicone tongs. Now, silicone tongs are the best thing because silicone will not melt, obviously.
What about the bit where the tongs are holding it, though?
But the metal at the top?
No, where the shrink's going to go. You're holding it at the tong. What's going to happen to that?
No, it won't affect it. It won't affect it. So, as long as I've got the grip right here, let's just go in. Can you see straight away?
Now we're talking.
See, what a difference. Yeah. Now, just be careful with any jar and bottle as well, that you tip out any drips that you've got there. Now, can you see the bottom there? So you can see where it overlapped, and I can see there's a little bit of water still in there. So I'm going to use the tongs just to put that down. Give that a little bit of a dry. And obviously this works in exactly the same way whether you're using a big jar or a small jar. Now, when you said about the tongs there, can you see that little bit? Yeah. That is probably where the tongs were. Now, it probably won't interfere here, but if you want to just move the tongs a little bit and dip again, that will shrink that in.
So is it worth kind of dipping it in and out 2 or 3 times maybe just to...
If you're happy with the effect straight away, there's no need to. But if you find any bubbles, any wrinkles, anything that's changed it... Now, look at the bottom there. Because the water is now hot enough, can you see there's not a single...
perfect fit, isn't it?
Not a single wrinkle.
Yeah.
It's just, will come in nice and
I've seen that effect before on things that I bought in the shop, and I've often wondered how that is achieved, and now I know it's using shrink foil.
But look as well, no distortion of those images. With the heat gun, you would get that. Okay, so...
Should we try dipping some more things in then, now that we've got the right temperature?
I am going to trim that one up in a little while, but we can put that down because I can do that at any point. I do want to do my little tin. I don't think we've seen a tin done before on air. I'm not sure. Let's just hope. Let's just hope one of these foils
fits. It's a first for the craft store.
I don't know if this foil's going to go on. Oh, it's a little bit too small, that one.
Need a bigger one.
Right, we'll go with a bigger one, although they're quite a bit bigger, these, aren't they? Let's give it a go. I am going to cut this one down because I don't need it all. Why waste? Because obviously the bit that I'm cutting off there, you can reuse.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't cut that off, do you think it would all still shrink, or would it just leave a little bit too much wiggle room?
It will shrink, but you know what I said about the air bubbles? Yeah. You've got to be very careful because if you leave your foil too big as well, if it's too tall, what will happen? It will shrink in, and then the water will get inside, and then the air will kind of push out the water. Right, okay. So you've just got to be a little bit careful. Do things nice and steady. So again, I've got the base showing there. The foil is overlapping a little bit. Can you see how that is just shrinking right round?
I love that. There's so much science on the craft store, isn't there? It's just every day I seem to be like a science lesson, this is.
It is. Yeah. It is like a science lesson. Yeah. And obviously I'm going to decorate round the top. I'm going to trim round the top as well. So just put the top in there. I can trim away at the bottom. I'm going to neaten this area off at the top. But you can see with the tin, now look at those ridges there. It picks up every bit of detail. So if you've got a glass jar that's got any wording on it, any sort of decorative areas, then it will show when you shrink. So if you don't want a brand name, just bear that in mind. If you've got something fancy on there, then that's great because you will get to see it.
It's magical.
I know,
magical
it's brilliant,
stuff.
isn't it?
It's
really,
just
really
like
good.
pop it in, bring it out, and bosh, you've already got yourself like something that looks like an antique.
Yeah, and then of course you can tidy it up. Now I could have cut that a little bit shorter, and we could have, you know, had a little bit less at the bottom, but you can just snip away with a pair of scissors or with a craft knife as well. Now you will feel that the foil has changed.
That's gone solid now, hasn't it? Feels like it has. Compared to what I had in my hand before, that now feels like you can hear a crunching as you...
You can, because it shrinks.
It's kind of hardened, has it, in the water?
Yes, and then you can just take a craft knife, make sure you've got a nice sharp one. Mine wants... I need a new blade in mine. Let me just get the glass because that might be easy to go around it. And just trim away with your blade. There we are. There we are. So you can see there now we've got that beautiful neat top.
Very nice.
What you can do as well, if you do get little raggy edges or you're not sure about that, all you need to do, once you've trimmed it down, is take your tongs and you can just dip that straight back into the water, just to make sure that everything's nicely sealed around the edge there.
That is amazing. But apparently Blanche has done a tin before.
Oh,
but
has she?
I think it's only the second time it's been done by your good self. So you've never done it before.
I've never done it before.
We can confirm that for you. You would probably be the expert on that, though, to be honest, rather than us. But yes, it's good to see. It's versatile, isn't it? You can put it on many things. I wonder how many other things we haven't even thought of that you could shrink wrap.
As I say, it needs to be something that's non-porous, something that's going to withstand heat as well. So,
baubles?
Baubles will work.
Okay.
Plastic baubles. Plastic, it depends on...
Well, you don't want to put it into the hot water for too long, do you?
No.
But maybe.
Plastic, obviously, you want to make sure it is something that's going to take the heat again. This is the bottle with the wrinkles in, where the top hadn't shrunk around. So I'm just putting that back in now, and you can see that's now shrinking around there. So I'm just going to lift that one out. We have got baubles. I've got a couple with me. Should we look at a bauble?
Yeah. So what about, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here a few ideas, but a light, like a globe light, would you be able to then have a bulb inside it, or do you think that would not be good for the...
I wouldn't do a bulb.
No.
No, I wouldn't do a bulb.
Not a little one, but one of those big, you know, glass domes you might put over a bulb.
I don't think the foils would fit.
No. Okay.
Now, I did have a bauble. Where did I put it?
Oh, look at the baubles now. Ooh.
I had a couple of gold baubles. Not sure.
Oh, we've had a question about the modelling paste while you're looking for that.
Okay.
It's from Marilyn, apparently. Can we change its colour or give it a bit of sparkle?
You could actually. You could add a little bit of pigment, whether it's a luscious powder or some sort of pigment powder you could mix in there. A little bit of pigment ink would work well. I wouldn't mix a paint into it because you're going to change the consistency. You want something that's highly pigmented. Of course, you can paint over it as well, but if you want to mix something into it in the first place, you can do. When it comes to sparkly, what I'm going to say to you there is probably if you mix glitter into it, you're just going to coat the glitter. So you probably lose the effect of the glitter. But of course you can go over the top with your glitter glazes, your glitter texture paste, perhaps mix some glaze into a varnish or some glitter into a varnish as well. So there's lots of ways you can add glitter, but I think adding it into the actual paste, you will just, it's almost as though like you're painting your crystals.
Yeah, did we see this one? I'm not sure if we've looked at this one yet. Another example of how you would use it here on this book. Let's look at that. It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? There we are. Look, there's the front cover here, and it's like a 300-400-year-old book, isn't it? It's like an old tome. Well, oh, look at the back as well.
Unfortunately, that's the moulds that have sold out that has been used there. But yes, if you're using the paste, of course, the size of the moulds that you've got there, those sheets that you create from those is going to work beautifully, because for a project like that book, that imitation book, it's going to be the perfect size.
That's the
you
paste
can join these.
that you would use on that book.
Yeah, the modelling paste.
Yeah.
The modelling paste. So I don't know if I've got a bit of pigment. I'll see if I can find some for 8 o'clock, and we'll maybe do a little bit of colouring with it.
Do you need me to have a sort out back here? Because that's about 6 things you've looked for now.
I have got so much stuff. I don't know where to look.
It's a bit of a state. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it's like having a teenage daughter. It's like, tidy your room up, will you? Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff, isn't there? When you're a crafter, you have a lot of things. A lot of things.
A lot of things. Yeah. A lot of things. And then, of course, when you've decorated your jars or your tins, then you can go to town with trims, ribbons, cut up fabric, lace, lots of different things. I'm not going to tie this around now, but we've got paper flowers. Do look out on the end of call as well for those decorative elements. I know we've got the beads on there. We've got those, so absolutely fantastic.
Yep. It's the one-day special, so it's your shrink foil kit. Don't forget, you've got to take advantage of this in the next 23 hours because it stops at 6 o'clock tomorrow when there'll be a new one-day special. So that's the time frame you have to get this amazing saving of £20. So you're going to get 18 foils in total. You're going to get 6 of this size here, and then you're going to get 12 of the larger size at the bottom here, but the theme across the whole kit is peacock and purple and green, and you've got the peacock feathers as well. The background is the pages of a book. You've got butterflies, you've got flowers, crocuses, I think those might be. We've got all of this, which beautifully makes this. It wraps right around these bottles here, for example. You can see 2 of our larger bottles, but you can do all shapes and sizes there. Just look at that as we go along. Each one of those, to me, looks just really expensive. It could easily just be an old milk bottle you had lying around. You've just cleaned it out and you've just popped that foil around the top. You've dunked it in some hot water. You've seen how easy it is. It is literally dunk it in hot water, pull it out, leave it to dry. It's done. It is done. And then you might just want to finish it off perhaps with a few of these little touches on the top here just to get just the lid, or perhaps you want to put a little ribbon around it or a bow around it just to give it that final touch. But half of this has already gone. Nearly half of the stock has gone. It's 808391. That's the item code you need to put in to get this fantastic shrink foiling kit. I love it because it's something that I think I could do, and I like the actual effect it gives you as well. To me, this is like alchemy. It's magic. It's take an empty bottle, turn it into this in 5 seconds flat.
It never gets old. And
no.
What a way to gift. Maybe if you make handmade chocolates or you want to put toiletries into jars. Obviously, bear in mind what's been in the jar in the first place. You don't want anything that remains with an odour.
No.
But if you make bath bombs and soaps, what a way to gift.
It does really suit bathrooms, doesn't it? It looks like something that goes in a bathroom. Potpourri, I can imagine being put into a bowl like this. You know, great for any of that kind of thing. In the kitchen as well would be really good. But I'm thinking bathroom. I'm thinking,
bedroom.
You know,
Cotton wool bowls,
yes, makeup tables.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And don't forget, if you're using jars, you're upcycling as well, so you're making use of those jars, especially if you are gifting them or use them yourself to keep things in there. And every different type of jar, different shapes, different sizes, tall, short. The only thing I will say, bear in mind with the one-day special, the foils have been designed for jars and larger items. If you're looking for things for the baubles or the really small items, then we do have another selection. That's that Christmas one, the one with the roses on. Not every one of those foils has a Christmas theme on it either, so it will definitely stretch throughout the year.
Okay, so how are we doing with the old dunking?
Well, because it wasn't hot enough before, should we do the bottle again?
Yeah.
So I've gone for, again, it's the peacock. And because I have got a bottle in here, I'm just going to extend a little bit across the bottom there, so you can see it's going to shrink in nicely at the bottom. I've still got some room at the top as well. Now this has got a really small neck on it. So, you know, if you do find something isn't shrinking right, you can very easily just trim away anything that you don't want. We've got a 7-day saver on, which I'm going to be using shortly as well, the Luxus paste, I couldn't remember how to pronounce it then, which is absolutely beautiful. That will also apply to glass, to tin, to wood, and lots of different things.
Here we go.
So obviously, because I've got a large item, I don't need the tongs for this one. So again, if we go in there.
Straight in. Look
now
at
I am
that.
going to
Just
decorate the
right
top
there.
of this one as well. Now one little tip is, and you could see it happen there, if you want to cover the whole of the bottle, try and keep a grip on the shrink foil at the top. So what you could do, let me just dry that off a little bit.
Yeah.
What you could do is put your finger into the top of the bottle and grip onto the shrink foil at the same time, because it will try and suck down, because as it's shrinking in, can you see? it's kind of, it will just shrink it. That's what happens.
Yep.
So it's pulled that one down. Now this one, I am going to apply some paint at the top. I was hoping to have some moulds to work with, but they look like they've gone. So that's not going to happen. But let's just shrink around the top and we'll see that work now. Again, watch out for the airs, so be very careful how you go in. Don't just drop it in there. Go nice and steady. Watch out for the air bubbles. And you can see there that that has now absolutely...
That looks good, doesn't it?
Fitted absolutely perfectly there. Now, even though you've got those seams in there, there will be a point where it joins. So you can see, actually, the seams here. You can see where that pattern changes. But it doesn't spoil the effect. And if you want to change it, if you want to put something on there, you certainly can do. If you find any little air bubbles, just pop it in there again. I have been known, I have done this before at home, I have been known, probably shouldn't do it, but I've put a little nick into the foil as well, but you shouldn't really get the air bubbles if you do it correctly. So that lovely, lovely effect there. Now, I'm not going to cut away at the top, but I will be hiding that. We'll probably use this in another demonstration a little bit later. But do you know what? You could leave it just open, because if you want to put your lights in there, you can still see. If you wanted to do this in two parts, you could do a smaller foil at the top, a smaller foil at the bottom, and then trim round so you've got a centre piece that's open. You just need to make sure that you've got something that you can trim up with to hide any edges. You don't want to see that sort of that raw edge, so to speak. You want a nice decorative edge.
Sort of lace. I've got a little update actually, Kathyrn, while you're there, on our Rose's paper crafting kit here. We are on limited stock for this now. This is proving very popular indeed. It's very busy. 457 847 is the item number. This is the kit in which you're getting 12 lots of 12-inch papers here, 12 by 12 papers. You're getting laser cuts and die cuts, and you're getting tags as well. You're getting 56 die cuts, you're getting 15 tags, you're getting 37 laser cuts, and you're getting 12 of these papers. You're getting that whole bundle there together for the price of $17.99. $17.99. It's gone to limited stock right now, so hurry, hurry, hurry.
Oh, it's beautiful as well. I'm not going to get to play with that either, am I? Now, I did think also that maybe some of the embellishments we've got, the laser cut embellishments, would work nicely. Now, don't forget, I did say that you can shape these. They're not that thick, that they're not malleable. Obviously, you need some sort of glue to go on there. I think probably a heavy body gel would be the best thing to apply to this one. But of course, you can paint these as well. So let's just add a little bit of colour to that, and I'll probably apply that later. But I'm going to play a lot with these, I think, if we don't sell out. If we don't sell out of them, we will hopefully see them a little bit later. I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock, just so I've got something to work on.
So you've actually managed to find some cardstock amongst
all that? I've got a whole pile of cardstock.
Good.
That's all right.
That's the one thing we found today.
I've got loads of it.
Right.
Now, these pastes are just fantastic. Give them a bit of a stir. They are water-based. You've got a really lovely effect in them. So obviously you can just stipple straight on. Because they're brown, you might want to build up the colour. You can blend the colours together. You get 4 different colours in the set. I think these are a great deal as well. I've forgotten the price now, but I know when I saw it. $14.99 for 4.
Very good, yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
£3 saver for the 7 days. We're halfway through that 7 days, so it's only up until Sunday, this. 70% of it has gone as well, so... yeah,
now, if I was putting these onto a canvas, onto a background, I would stick these down first and then paint the whole of the background. But obviously, because they'll be slightly raised, you can still then end up using a wax or some sort of paint on there as well. But that's a little bit wet still. So while that's drying, I just want to show you how well these work on glass as well. So I've got another glass here. So you do get a couple of little daubers. I've brought all sorts of sponges. I do love applying paints and mediums with sponges. Now, if you want to go with one coat, it will be quite subtle. You can build this up, as I say, you can blend these as well. I mean, already that looks lovely. But you've got a certain amount of transparency there. Yeah. So if you want to put lights in a jar and you want to add a little bit of colour, you can do. You can also use this through a stencil. You can use it like a paste.
Do you lose the transparency if you put on several coats of it? Or does it always...
Yeah, if you keep building up, then of course you're going to, it's going to be more opaque. So yes, it will start to block that out. But I just think these are perfect to work alongside your foils as well, because Obviously, if you don't want to cover the whole of the jar or the glass, then, and I'll probably do that with the bottle, we'll add some colour to the top of it before we decorate it.
Yeah.
So, but lovely, lovely effect. As I say, use this with your stencils as well. Use it with a spatula, use it with a sponge, paint it on. You know, it goes on multiple surfaces, but you've got that beautiful sort of glittery effect in there without it being a glitter. It's got a shimmer. It's very, very pretty indeed. So
would you ever consider decorating the bottle with that before you then shrink wrap it? So you've got the top of it's covered, if you like, and then you put the wrap on it?
I would probably paint it afterwards. I'll be quite honest, I haven't done it the other way around. Maybe it's something we can try. Perhaps if we cover this whole jar, there's another colour here, look, I just want to show you about blending these as well. If we use the whole of this jar and dunk it later, we might be able to see the effect that you get. But I just love, love, love the effect of the paste. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it will dry quite quickly as well. Can you see that blend? Can you just see where it goes from purple more into that champagne colour? I don't know if you can. I can see it with
I can see it. Yeah, definitely. Purple and silver.
Yeah.
80% of this has gone. 80% of the paint has gone.
Ooh.
So you have to be smart if you want to get hold of that.
But we'll try that.
Saver.
We'll do what you said.
Oh, blimey. So one of my suggestions is actually going to...
We're nearly out of time, so I am actually going to purposely turn this water off for now. Somebody needs to remind me
to not put
to turn it back on before 8 o'clock, otherwise we'll have the same issue at the beginning of the show.
Oh, you're going to do this all over again at 8, aren't you? Because you're back again for the one-day special?
Yeah.
Right, OK. Well, far for me to say. I was going to say, shouldn't we just keep that running? Like keep it on on simmer so it keeps hot, or do you think it's going to? Or if we give it enough time and build it up?
We'll build it up.
Okay.
I will come back in early. I'm going on the hunt for more jars.
Good.
Now.
I'm just worried, Kathyrn. I just want it to be right for the next hour. We want those baubles. You've got to find those baubles as well for the next hour, so we can get those sorted out.
I've got a couple of baubles somewhere. We will find them.
Excellent. I will help. Oh no, I won't, because I've got something more to do in just a second. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Kathyrn, thank you very much. We will see you.